to the Super Speedway.
Nose inside, tight, side, quick hold on him. I think 45 just wrecked him. He was not clear, I would say. Yeah, he definitely was not. Still even, stay on him tight, clear behind. All right, got her back up. Five's wrecking behind you. Yellow's out, yellow, get caught up here. I think I killed it. Sorry, guys. What are you sorry about, man? We got a lot to fight for here. Green white checker coming up. Oh, I knocked the right front of it off. I smoked the wall in. Sure, too. Yeah, we'll put a new one on. Okay. Suspension, but okay. Well, if it is, it is, man. You got to block that shit out. We got 2 laps to race for this win here, so. 23 spun the 5. What the 5 spotter said. That's convenient, isn't it? Watch him in the fence. Don't run him over. Easy. Keep coming. Stay green. Yellow's out. Brother, that was not that big of a fucking checkup. Oh, didn't fucking want that. God damn it. Checkered flag. Hell yeah, fellas. Great work, DH. You boys did it again. Great fucking job. Back to back. Let's go. See another one that burn out.
Welcome to episode 356 of the Super Speedway podcast, recorded Tuesday, April 8th, 2025. I'm your host, Eric Young, and I am joined, as always, by my co-host, James Cush. James, how's it going tonight?
It's going, man. It's going. Not as good as Denny Hamlin right now, but going pretty good.
Right. Hey, before we get started, I want to make a quick announcement tonight.
Oh, okay.
Due to the tariffs, this week's podcast will require a 25% surcharge. Just so you guys know, if you DM me on X, I'll send you James's personal address and you can send him your check. So
please don't. I don't want anything to do with that.
Are you stocked up? You just stock up on some toilet paper and stuff, so you're ready to go?
Well, I'm glad I got my new vehicle. I'll tell you that. Everything
kidding.
else is, geez. Well, we'll see how it goes, right? That's kind of how we live our lives. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Good weekend for Denny Hamlin. Old Denny. Back to back, as he says. And always can count on Bubba Wallace for some good audio before the podcast. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, Goodyear 400, James, want to jump right into it?
Let's do it, man.
We don't have a whole lot to talk about this week, so we'll see how long we can stretch it out.
Well, okay, if we, you know what, if we race or if we do a podcast like William Byron raced, we'll won't have much to say, and then it'll get really exciting. So we'll see how our journey goes tonight. Hot
damn, 243 laps led, and that was almost pretty much all in sequence, right?
Yeah, he just was running.
No, that literally was all in sequence. Once he lost the lead, he never got it back.
No, he never got it back. So, it got to the point around 200 and I think it was around 215. I said, okay, now I want to see it happen.
Right. Yeah, I was with you.
Now we've got history. Now we've got history on the line. I want to see it. I want to see it happen. And all the people on the X machine were just a grumbling. But I don't know, man. I thought that was pretty compelling there for what it was. You know, I don't know. I love seeing domination from time to time, but for the fact that perfect race, I guess if you want to call it that, the fact that was on the line, I thought that was super compelling. I don't care who it was.
Oh, you do too. If that was Ross Chastain, you'd be bitching right now.
Well, I would be rooting against it, but it's still a very cool opportunity, is it not? I mean, especially at Darlington.
Yeah.
I mean, how can you lead that many laps?
There was no scenario though on that stage that it could have worked. There's no way if he'd have pitted, even if he'd have held out to pit to stay in the lead, he still would have lost the lead. There was if the caution would have come out, some guys would have stayed out. there was nothing that could have possibly made it work the way it played out in that third stage. But yeah, it was, I mean, it was impressive. It's one of those things that there was a point in the race where I'm like, has he led all the laps? And then they start mentioning it a little bit here and there. And then it's like, oh, no, now he's going to lose. No, he held on to it. Holy crap. He's still leading.
Yeah, and the Keselowski caution kind of came at the right time,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden, like all the strategy was there, and as it crept towards the last pit cycle, and everybody started to pit and pick up pace, I was like, oh man, it's not going to happen. But
Right.
I really hope we get a caution and maybe we can see it. But yeah, once Tyler Reddick got out front on that pit cycle, it was too late, but. Still, I thought it was pretty compelling for the most part.
Yeah. So
Other than that, there wasn't much going on.
Denny Hamlin wins the race, goes back to back, but really William Byron won the race. He got 56 points over Denny Hamlin's 48, so that's all that really matters, right? They both have wins.
Yeah, I mean,
like we don't care
doesn't
about
get the
that.
win in the winner's book, but yeah.
But yeah. So what'd you think of Darlington? I mean, we raved about this place in the fall and how great it was and how you could race anything here and it'd be excellent. And then we have a race where a driver leads the first 243 laps straight, and not a whole hell of a lot happens. So are we changing our mind on Darlington, or do we?
Well,
good with it?
Well, I was going to ask this: do we have a case where just one car showed up that was a rocket ship, and then things got a little crazy towards the end? But I mean, is that out of the question these days? I feel like
it is with this
William
car.
Byron just showed up. Well, he got the pole, and that car was just on a rail.
Yeah.
And I wonder, like, I didn't think the racing behind the leader was that bad. And I saw, shout out to our buddy Derek Winter again on this one. He was at the race and he said he thought the race was really good.
Well,
from
that's
being in person.
To be honest, again, Darlington was one of those tracks that they hit the wall every lap. There's always stuff going on throughout the field. So yeah, in person, I don't think there's such thing as a bad race at Darlington, because you're fascinated the whole time as to how they can possibly get through the corners because they're so skinny.
And you know too, I think we should talk about this part of it as well. That everything after that last pit cycle was really, really intriguing because you had tire wear and you had comers and goers with fresh tires. But what was really, really fun to watch was that 12 car.
Yeah.
And Ryan Blaney was storming through the field and tracked down Tyler Reddick, and it was almost like Homestead-esque, where you had one guy who was faster pressuring the leader, and the leader just couldn't keep it off the wall, kept making a little mistakes, and then like you heard in the audio you put together, he killed the front end of it, and all of a sudden it looked like Blaney was cruising.
Well, that's what I was gonna say is that, you know, if you looked at the score sheet and looked at the results, you'd see the 243, and then you'd see that William Byron finished second. You'd be like, wow, man, William Byron got robbed in this race. But William Byron didn't get robbed. Ryan Blaney got robbed.
Ryan Blaney got robbed. Yeah, the way circumstances were.
Ryan Blaney made the pass for the win and had the lead with 3 to go or 4 to go, whatever it was.
Yeah, I think it was 4 to go.
And gets the freaking. I mean, literally, as he's passing for the lead, the caution comes out.
Did we not talk about a couple weeks ago how terrible his luck was and how he was joking, like if it all ended by him getting struck by lightning on the track, it would probably be fitting?
Yeah.
I can't believe how bad his luck is.
I was so disappointed because I listened to the radio traffic because I'm figuring he's got to be just cussing up a storm when that caution comes out. Not really. I mean, he was annoyed because he thought like Bubba wrecked Larson, but that was because his crew told him that.
Yeah, and again, data shows Larson checked up real bad. So
you can see it on the onboard with Bubba. Like Larson just dropped freaking anchor. He just stopped.
Yeah, I don't know what he was doing there. I honestly don't know what was going through his mind. He was so far back.
You know what I think it was?
He just passed Bubba.
Yeah, I think he passed Bubba and was probably watching his rear view and saw Reddick hit the wall and panicked because he saw it out of the corner of his eye. That's just my guess. And well, I mean, he just stopped.
And again, he's not competitive, so I think he's just obviously trying to stay out of the way. But
in that case, with 3 laps to go or whatever, 4 laps to go, why the hell is he passing the third place car?
Well, I guess it depends on when he got tires for that last run.
Why are you even running with the leaders?
I agree.
Leave the leaders alone. He couldn't even gain a spot at that point. Like,
I know, he was so far back. I know. Yeah. It was a strange one.
Yeah.
I can't defend him on that.
Yeah.
I would like to try, but there's no defending that. I mean, I would challenge anyone to defend his day because he wiped himself out on the 4th lap of the race and then he made it all the way to 4 to go and wiped himself out again.
Well, I
So,
was gonna say, are the tire marks from Jimmy Johnson's wreck back there still on the track? Because I think he followed him directly.
he might have, yeah. Jeez, yeah, I know it was a wild day for him. But I think too, I guess since we're talking about him in that whole situation, the DVP came into play.
Yeah,
And I guess affected the outcome of the race.
yeah, you're not wrong.
I don't know if it's a problem. I don't think it's a problem.
No,
or not. I
it's
think
not.
I mean, they were working on that car. They should be out there, you know, be
Yep.
able to fix it. So,
No, I don't have any issue with. I think the DVP is about perfect.
I mean, if it happens to Kyle Larson, it can happen to anyone, I guess, is
Yeah.
my other thought. But,
Yeah.
Jeez, man.
He just is in the wrong
I don't
place.
think
at the
anybody
wrong
else is
time.
going to work that hard. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But they got him back out there.
Yes, they did.
Just enough to mess up poor Ryan Blaney's day.
Right.
Jesus, man.
Um,
That poor guy.
Denny Hamlin again gets the win, back to back now. This is the week after you were just quizzing me on how many more wins Denny possibly could have in him.
Yep.
And he goes back to
Yep.
back. So
Yes. Yeah, he's a solo possession of 11th place now.
yeah, he's also the
All time.
winningest driver at Joe Gibbs now, I believe, as well.
Man, yeah, he is. Oh, yeah, I think you're right. Or he's right there, isn't he?
He said that the
think you're right.
reason he went and won this week is because he was told Alpern told him last week that he was tied with Busch, and so he
Okay,
went
so
out
there
this
you go.
week and had to beat him.
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
He's been doing it a long time.
Does Denny not get enough credit for being one of the greats?
Well, here I wanted to take a spin on this, and I did not warn you about this, but I have a hot take. You want to do hot take
Sure.
take James here?
Go for it.
All right. Here we go. I'm gonna clear my throat. I'm ready to go. I'm shaking it out. I'm gonna try this on for size. Does anybody in NASCAR have more of an advantage than Denny Hamlin? And here's why. He drives not only for the best team. Hendrick Motorsports is what it is. But he drives for JGR, so you could say the best team in the sport. And he's got all the resources of his own team, which is possibly the most funded or one of the most funded teams in the sport. So he's actually got access to all this data from a 4-car team and his own 3-car team, and it's Denny versus the world. And he wants us to believe that he's the underdog. I don't know.
He's
not the underdog.
Here's the reason I don't agree with your take.
I think he's sitting on the throne.
He is, but here's the reason I don't agree with your take, because Denny Hamlin has 56 wins in the NASCAR Cup Series. How many of those wins have come since he was the elder statesman at JGR and or a team owner in the Cup Series with a successful team?
Ooh, hold on. I can find that out for you.
I can tell you, as far as team owner with a successful team, about 3 years.
So it's 2.
And pretty close to that for elder statesman at JGR too. So
10, 11. He has 12 wins since if you want to count 2021 as that year.
yeah,
He
so
has 10 of his.
you can't take his accomplishments away from him then.
He has 12 of his 56 career wins in that span.
Yeah, that's not enough.
I'm just saying, you want us to believe that it's you versus the world, and that's fine. That can be your motto, whatever it takes, man. You're the one trying to win a championship.
Was Jimmy
But the
Johnson
reason-
not in a similar situation in his last years at Hendrick though?
Well, Jimmy Johnson had 7 championships in his pocket.
Still, he
But-
did not want to win.
You can't take. Here's my. Again, I'm going to add to my hot take here.
All right.
You can't fly the flag of underdog when your status as an underdog is simply because you couldn't get the job done on the big stage.
Well, I don't disagree
You know what
with
I
you
mean?
about the underdog thing. I don't think Denny Hamlin's an underdog.
Denny versus the world, man. 11 versus the world.
I think we need to. I really do not think he gets the credit he deserves for the accomplishments he's made. When you think of the great drivers in NASCAR, Denny Hamlin to me is not one that comes to mind, but he should. Just because he
You know what's
doesn't have a
gonna happen?
championship,
You know what's going to happen?
he's going to win the championship this year, and then it'll be set.
No, he's not going to win the championship. If he hasn't done it now, I don't know if he's going to.
No,
clip
I don't
that
see
audio
him.
though.
I don't
Maybe.
see him winning it this year either. But
You know what's going to happen though? Honestly, he's going to retire, and it'll be 3-4 years later, and it will be getting ready for the Hall of Fame. And he's the first ballot Hall of Famer
Right.
at this point. So I'm not going to take that away from him. He is that guy.
Yeah.
But then he'll be appreciated when he's
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
When he's gone and he's not there to irritate you or to be your favorite driver or beat your favorite driver. That's when Denny Hamlin will get his praise. People loved Mark Martin, and I remember the majority of the tail end of Mark Martin's career. But people forget, I think, how sloppy Mark Martin's tail end of his career really, really was.
But Martin was never hated.
No, he was never hated, but he was, I would say, picked apart a little bit because of the way he retired. He just couldn't step away, and then all of a sudden he got into washed up territory. Like, why is Mark Martin still doing this? And then he went to Hendrick Motorsports, and all of a sudden he was challenging Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah.
And he was making a run, and oh boy, Mark Martin, the legend. And that's, you have those redemption stories that come along. And I think Denny will have something of that nature. Now, maybe that's when he's driving for his own team in a few years, if that's what he so chooses to do. I don't know.
Maybe it's as a team owner.
Perhaps. Yeah. Maybe he's a more beloved guy as a team owner. Well, that's a complicated one too.
Right.
Because we'll see how this lawsuit plays out.
Yeah.
But Eric, I brought the hot take to the plate, but like I said, he's first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah, he's got to be.
He probably is underrated. Like, you can't argue with 56 career wins, man. He's going to be top 10 all time. Probably.
Here's the thing, though. Underrated and underdog are two different things.
That's right.
I think he's underrated, but I do not think he's an underdog.
No, he's trying to be the underdog.
Yeah,
but
he can be whatever he wants to be.
Yeah.
I'm happy he continues to embrace being the villain. I want that to continue because we need one.
Seeing him have this success now at 44 really bothers me. It bothers me now more than I think it has before, that Kyle Busch is struggling as much as he is.
Yeah.
Because I think Kyle Busch could take this fight on if he was in better stuff.
I don't know though. I really get the feeling that Kyle is more worried about Brexton than he is about himself at this point.
I don't think Denny Hamlin was, or ever will be the driver that Kyle Busch was. Now,
no, I agree.
You may say, like, well, Kyle's 39 years old now and he's really struggling, and I totally understand that, but Kyle Busch's history is yet to be finalized.
Well, and can you imagine what else Kyle would have done if they wouldn't have put the restrictions on the Truck Series and the Xfinity Series?
Oh my God, yeah, his resume is already ridiculous.
I mean, I realize that's not the Cup Series, but still, man, he would just still be racking up the numbers.
His resume is out of control. Yeah,
just crazy.
But yeah, kudos. I mean, I don't want to take anything away from Denny Hamlin at this point, and that pit crew. I tell you what, if he does win the championship this year, if that happens for him, it's going to be because of that pit crew.
Yeah,
that was phenomenal. Like,
because if you
knew it when they went down pit road, and it's exactly what I thought. I'm like, oh, this pit crew, there's momentum with this pit crew. They've got this new thing, this Jackman thing, and they're flying, and they're going to be great.
Yeah. Well,
that's what happened.
So I watched Blaney's pit stop from his onboard, and I'm like, okay, so where's the issue that slows down their pit stop? There's not one.
No,
it's a freaking great pit stop.
Yeah, they didn't make a mistake. You ran into an elevated situation here, and this whole Jackman thing is going to become a thing.
Oh yeah, it will.
Whipping that jack around like that is just it's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you just could feel it. Like, it was a thing all week last week, and it was starting to kind of generate momentum online, and then Fox picked up the story, and it's like, okay, well, they figured out another loophole in how to make their pit stops even faster, and sure enough, man, boom, when it mattered the most, there you go, 11 car out front.
You know what the best part is?
What's that?
He's probably the favorite this weekend.
Yeah, he can get 3 in a row again. Yeah, Shigeaki get another 3 in a row. I was gonna say that when we get to picks.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
he's got to be the favorite for Bristol, or at least one of them.
He'll be in my fantasy team probably.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. I'd have picked him at Bristol before I'd have picked him at Darlington.
Yeah, wasn't expecting the Darlington win.
It doesn't surprise me, but
No, it's not surprising.
Again, it's tire wear, but the tire wear had nothing to do with it, really. It was pit
No.
stops. It was timely cautions and pit stops that got him this win.
Man, that's unbelievable.
Um,
Poor Blaney, poor Byron. So much for the bees winning everything. The bees aren't winning anymore.
right. Anything else worth really diving into on this race, James?
Oh man,
Ty Gibbs got a top 10.
Yeah.
So did
Yeah.
Kyle Busch, actually. Kyle Busch finished
Kyle
10th.
Busch got a top 10. Yep. The strange season of Brad Keselowski continues.
Yeah.
Just he had the lug nut thing and didn't have the tire fall off, which was strange. I thought Josh Berry was fast again and he wrecked, but other than that, no, I felt like it was pretty much a normal Darlington race. Eric Jones lost his mind on the radio. That was pretty fun. He got a pit road penalty? Something. He got a penalty coming down pit road and he got trapped on a caution.
I didn't catch it. Otherwise, I probably would have pulled the audio.
Yeah. I wish I would have keyed you off to it because, he lost his. I haven't heard Eric Jones ever that animated before. But he was having another good run.
Yeah.
He was hanging around.
It's a good track for him.
It is a good track for him. And I thought Chase Briscoe was pretty fast early on, and then he had his issues. So,
right.
Yeah. Strange day. I mean, a lot of contenders just kind of faded. But
yeah, Ty Dillon ran well in this race, too. Finished 8th in the second stage.
Ty Dillon has had a pretty good season.
Yeah. Considering how much we bashed him when he got that ride.
Yeah, he's actually found something over there.
That's what you need, is you need us to criticize you being hired, and then you'll succeed.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what happens.
Yeah. I would say the calling cars have stepped up a little bit this year because AJ's been pretty good too. So
yeah, they've seen an improvement.
Yep. I think they're definitely running better.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I'm looking down the list and I don't really see much else. I mean, it was a pretty clean Darlington race. So before we leave Darlington, we hit on it a little bit last week, but not really. And the big talking point this weekend is the throwback over? Should it end? Has it run its course, James? Are we over throwback weekend at Darlington? What are your thoughts?
Well, I commented on your post. I said I think Chase Elliott's right.
Oh my God!
I know that's hard to believe.
I never agree with Chase Elliott. Shut up.
They're all kind of over it.
Here's the thing: Kyle Busch said it best. The throwback is not for the drivers; it's for the fans.
No, it's not. It's always been for the fans.
The fans like it. Leave it alone. We can bitch all we want about number location or whatever. But just, first of all, here's my black flag for the week, James.
Oh, let's do it.
Chase Elliott. How in the hell is this guy the most popular driver in NASCAR?
Yeah.
He has the most unfan-friendly attitude of any driver in the field.
I wonder if he likes his job.
My God.
That's my estimation of what he's got going on.
When you signed on here today, I was looking for a video that I saw of him. It was like a Instagram reel with Hendrick Motorsports where they go to the souvenir hauler and he's signing autographs. And they ask for his autograph on a sheet of paper. He signs it, and then they pull their hand away, and it's a contract for him to do a certain number of Instagram posts for whatever. And he goes and edits it and crosses it out to 0 and whatever. And it's like, that is Chase in a nutshell. Like, he's not joking. He just, my God. You're the freaking most popular driver. Embrace it a little bit. His dad was a grumpy guy, too. But at least Bill would, sign autographs and, be cool and recognize the fact that the fans loved him. We are wasting, our sport is wasting their time on this guy.
Yeah, he's got some disconnected stuff going on when he's just, I don't know, he's just so blah lately. It's been a recent thing because he was not this way.
Correct.
And I don't know if it's maturing into an adult more so now or he's jaded about something. But I remember when he won Texas last year and it just seemed like I don't know, man. It was like another day at the office for him.
He's not even like this in the media center. Like, it's just, I mean, I guess he is because that was a media session that he was like that. But
I almost, did he climb the mountain too early? Maybe is that? I mean, I know we're doing like reckless speculation a little bit, but like, did he conquer the sport too soon, winning that championship?
I don't know. I mean, maybe. He obviously doesn't want to be the most popular driver. Not that Dale Jr. wanted to be the most popular driver either, but Jr. at least embraced it after a point, you know?
Yeah. He's Can
we just give it to somebody like Blaney or I mean Larson's pretty blah too, but at least Larson might appreciate it.
Well, Larson will do the stuff though.
Right.
Like Larson does everything. He goes to the short tracks, he signs the autographs.
Yeah, why not give it to the guy who's out at the freaking dirt tracks every week?
And people like Larson. I don't think there's like a groundswell of people that hate Kyle Larson.
No, I agree.
I don't think that's out. I mean, obviously there's some people out there that don't like him.
Right.
But you know, I saw Chase say something else this weekend that kind of like was kind of hit my antenna. He said that him and the other Hendrick drivers have a great working relationship. And he actually said, like, we aren't friends. We have a great working relationship. And I'm like, yeah, but you could still like, I you know what I mean? Like, it's like, well, you guys don't do anything together every once in a while. Like, I understand, like, you guys it's your job. Like, I'm not hanging out with my coworkers, you know, either. I'm like, you guys don't like go dirt racing with Larson? Like, I feel like it would be a lot easier for you guys have some common interests, you know what I mean? But maybe Chase just wants to fly his airplane, and although he did kind of tap into the Xfinity Series race a little bit, he did get mad at Ross Chastain, so maybe he's got a little fire in there. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's not like he nominated himself most popular driver. The fans choose him, but just come on. Pick somebody else, for God's sakes.
Yeah, I'd like to see him turn it around.
He frustrates me because I want to like him. I want to be a fan of his. He has this power, this ability to just put the sport on his shoulders. And I get that he doesn't want to do that, but I mean, when NASCAR, when people sit here and talk about the drivers need to do more to promote the sport, whether you agree or disagree with that, this is the type of thing they're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And the whole doesn't want to participate in the Netflix thing and all that. It's just one thing after another. It's like, can you be any less fan friendly?
Yeah.
And I'm sure obviously he's signing autographs in his hauler. I'm sure he does autograph sessions and all that stuff. And maybe he feels that's just what he needs to do. And that's it. Who knows? Maybe he just doesn't have a personality that, I don't know. It frustrates me to no end. Like, get some training or something and at least put an act on. You know?
Yeah, I know what you're getting.
You probably love it because you like miserable people, but
well, yeah, I am one. But see, the thing is, like, Chase, I was never like a Chase guy. You know, like, even from the start, like, I'm like, I don't know about Chase, and I feel like he could have won me over at some point, and he just never has.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. It's tough, man. I understand too, like, there's a lot of pressure on these guys all the time to be maybe something they don't want to be.
Right.
But it does come with a pretty nice, like, life if you're willing to do the things, and maybe he thinks he is doing all those things.
Yeah.
You know, he's doing enough. Maybe he thinks that. I don't know.
You're speaking of black flags, and I don't remember why, so this is gonna be really out of context here in this podcast, but your buddy Tony Stewart pissed me off this week too.
What did he do now?
He was on a show, something. I see the TikTok right in front of me, but I can't listen to it right now because obviously we're recording. And it was really, really long, so to go into it, I'll find it and send it to you. But he said something this week that would just irritated me, and I don't remember what it was.
Well, I did stumble across
it was more
him.
bashing NASCAR stuff, and it's like, just Tony, just stop.
I agree. No, I agree with you. He needs to go easy, but he's definitely got an axe to grind, and he's been grinding it when he can. So
yeah, should have stayed on and gotten in that lawsuit.
Well, maybe. Wonder who he's rooting for.
Yeah, right. I
I think
wonder.
he's made that pretty clear.
Right.
Well, he came on Harvick's podcast and he was pretty grumpy back then. So
Yeah, he's always grumpy.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I sent this to you. I stumbled across his Goodyear rip from way back in the day. It's so fun.
Well, that's the thing is this appearance that he was on, he actually praised Goodyear. It was
yeah,
shocking.
I know.
It was like,
I know.
anyway.
Yeah.
So anyway, back to Darlington. Well,
So throwbacks.
yeah.
We were talking about throwbacks.
Yes, throwback.
Now, here's my thing.
Okay.
Here's my deal. Paint the cars any way you want.
Yep.
But throwback doesn't have to be paint schemes on the cars.
Did you
It can
listen
be
to
just-
the teardown or did you listen to Dale Jr.
I did listen to the teardown. I did. No, I did. I did. I was listening
You're
to the
echoing
teardown.
Jordan Bianchi right now. Right?
Yep. I'm definitely pulling a little bit from Jordan Bianchi.
He's
but
not wrong.
I just think that when they took the throwback weekend away from the Southern 500, it changed things.
Yeah.
And I think they should consider putting it back.
Here's the problem with that, though. Unless you take it away, take the paint schemes away, and Jordan referenced it on the Dale Jr. download today, and I only listened to part of it. I didn't listen to the
I didn't listen to the
so.
download. I did catch a little bit of the download, but I didn't listen to any of the other stuff.
So he mentioned the fact that the problem with Darlington is, and maybe it was Junior that mentioned, I don't know, one of them mentioned it. The problem with the Southern 500 is it's the first race of the playoffs. It's a big money race. The sponsors don't want it that weekend because they don't want to change their paint schemes that weekend. It's tough enough right now with the sponsors because you have sponsors that, may only be on a car for 3 weekends a year and they don't want to change their paint scheme for one of those weekends. So I understand it in from that aspect. And like Kyle talked about,
and that's why the Xfinity series is so good.
Yeah.
Because they don't have those restrictions.
There's less money in it for one, and two, most of those teams are sponsoring cars longer, again, because it's less expensive.
And that's why Larson's schemes are so good, because he has one sponsor for pretty much the entire season.
Right, exactly. And that's
Whatever he wants.
Kyle Busch mentioned this weekend that he hasn't run a throwback scheme most years, and it's not his choice, it's his sponsor's choice. And
yeah, he had good ones when he had M&Ms on the car because he had a ton of options he could go for.
Yeah. So that makes
a lot of brand equity.
That all makes sense. And so I think there are certain ways you could do it to still have the throwback aspect, but get rid of at least there's not a requirement for paint schemes now. You don't have to run those paint schemes, and you can run them whenever you want
only
to.
half the field did it this year.
Yeah.
It is slowly dying though.
Not in the Xfinity series though, man. Let the Xfinity
No, the
series
Xfinity series does a great job. No, the Xfinity series does a great job. They had the best cars all weekend.
But
outside of the 5 car.
I would hate for them. Yeah, I would hate for them to. I don't know. The 21 car was pretty good too. I get that it wasn't a NASCAR throwback, but that was a pretty cool looking car too.
It does look like a race car. It looks like a race car.
Yeah. But anyway, I would hate to see them like abandon throwback weekend. I think throwback weekend could be more, as Jordan Bianchi said. I would be for it being a bigger thing, less about the paint schemes and more about the throwback aspect as it is. So, or retro.
Yeah.
We'll make it a retro weekend.
Well, do you remember this? There was a time during throwback weekend when we were doing eras.
Yeah.
And I wonder if, not to steal anything from Taylor Swift, I guess. NASCAR did it first though, Taylor. But I would like to go back to the 70s, 80s, 90s eras.
See, the problem is you're putting everybody in more of a box.
Well, and the problem is we've done everything. All of the schemes have been done, and they're
that's what Chase Elliott said. He said eventually they're going to be throwing back to him. It's like, no crap, Chase. That's what a throwback is, dumbass. Eventually, you're going to be old enough that they'll throw back to you.
If you're great enough, yeah.
God, maybe you should hope that people want to throw back to you. There were throwbacks to his freaking dad this weekend. Jimmy Johnson threw back to himself. Come on.
Chase had the worst scheme
Kyle Busch threw back to the year before.
Right.
What was it? The Lucas car. That was actually pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I don't know. I don't want to see it go away. I think it needs to stand this weekend just because it gives this weekend an identity, because without that, we would have completely forgotten about this race this weekend.
Yeah. I disagree. I think that if you do it around the Southern 500, it becomes the event that it was. I think
you solved the problem by doing it an all-star weekend with North Wilkesboro, because North Wilkesboro is more of a retro track now.
Yeah.
With what they've done there. However, I don't want to take it away. Yeah, that too. I don't want to take it away from Darlington though. So
I just think that, and
Southern
I don't know
500 has enough with it though.
I understand, but the paint scheme part of it, when you took it away from the Southern 500, it began this downturn, because I feel like when it was at the Southern 500, it was still humming along at a really nice, like, everybody loves
this. I don't
this.
Disagree with you. I just understand the reason that they stopped doing it.
And I get why they did it too, but I just think that, it's like, if you make one event really, really big, but too, I get it from this aspect. Throwback weekend is another reason to sell a ticket to another event. Yep. So again, like you win some, you lose some, but yeah, I don't know. I would even say, like, do paint schemes every 5 years or 3 years, something like that.
No,
you know what I mean? Like,
let them have free reign. Just do whatever you want to do.
If they let them move the numbers, I'd be all in back in.
Here's the thing. There was discussion this week. It might have been, was it a Kyle Petty take? I don't remember, but where they basically said, what do we even have numbers for? Like, we don't even need the numbers anymore. Everything's electronic. The numbers are just there for show. So who cares where they put them, right?
Make them electronic. There you go.
There you go. Put them wherever the hell you want to put them. If you want to run a different number this weekend, run a different number.
Listen, I'm going to challenge Steve Phelps right now. If you really know the fan, like you said, then let's put the numbers back.
Yeah.
Show me.
The problem is the fan isn't the one giving them all the money. It's the sponsors. And so, I mean, the fans are giving them money, but not enough.
Yep.
Not enough to move the needle.
Jeez.
Well, anyway, let's see. 56 wins. Denny Hamlin, we mentioned that. 694 Cup Series starts. Shane Van Gisbergen was your highest finishing rookie in 20th place. William Byron as your points leader, 49 points over Denny Hamlin for the points lead. There you go. There's Darlington.
All right. Cool.
NASCAR Xfinity Series was in action on Saturday. James, you didn't get to experience much of it. I don't have a whole lot to say about it. I didn't want to touch on Brandon Jones. Gets the win. First win in a couple of years now. First win back with JGR. Seemed pretty grateful for getting the win. What are our thoughts on it? We've gone back and forth on Brandon Jones. Like, what do you think of it? Like, where do you rank him? Where do you?
Oh man, jeez. That's tough. I tell you what,
he's a good driver. He's just not
when you win,
your top guy.
When you win at Darlington,
it means something, right?
It means something. It means you're no scrub.
Right.
And I know Brandon Jones catches a lot of flack for being Brandon Jones, I guess. It's been a long time since he's won some races, but I mean, we rave about Eric Jones, and really, Brandon Jones in the Xfinity Series doesn't look a whole lot different than Eric Jones in the Cup Series. Right. And he's always, and that's the thing, like, Brandon Jones has always had good stuff on, he's always had good equipment. Yeah. That's never been a problem. It's what you do with good equipment. I think that's when people get on your butt, is when you're not performing with that good equipment. He had a pretty long stretch of time. I mean, he's approaching 30 years old. So it's like 28 years old. Yeah. Here's the thing though. You can buy good equipment, but you can't buy good relationships. And you also can't buy chemistry, good results. And chemistry and good results. Yeah. All that kind of comes together. I mean, he's really made a good partner. He really made it seem in his winner's interview that I don't think he was bashing Junior Motorsports, but that things just weren't clicking there. Like, there was something missing there, without saying this team sucks, because we know it doesn't suck. We know it's an excellent team, but something didn't work for him there, obviously, because he didn't have the results. No, he never. I don't think he ever won in a GG. No, he did not. He did not win in a I mean, he went 2 years, and he just didn't get the top 10s, and everything. Yeah. He had a lot of bad luck too. Yeah, but his average finishes. So if you look at like his performance through 2021, he's pretty consistent. And then when he gets in those Junior Motorsports cars, his positioning on the track at the end of the day, he's dropping, you're talking over 5-6 positions each season, and it was getting worse. So now that he's back with JGR, he's kind of putting up those same numbers again. Right. So I part of me wonders if it's just maybe he's got a better feel for those Supras than he did with the Camaro. Maybe that's part of it too. And maybe it's the people in place. Maybe he's just more comfortable. He fits in there a little bit more. So, I'd like to see him. Here's what he's got to do. You can't just win this race and then plug along the rest of this season and prod along. You got to show us more improvement.
Yeah.
Like this season needs to turn into a 5-6 win season.
Yeah.
Especially
when he's one of the veterans left right now.
Yeah, that's the step you have to take, and that's what you look for in the Xfinity series. And I always I hate to beat the same drum sometimes, but I think back of like the prime example of this was we weren't sure what Chase Briscoe was.
Right.
And he actually, at the beginning of the season where he had his most success, he said, like, he put it out there, I need to win 8 or 9 races to prove that I'm a Cup driver. And by God, did he not only win those races, he was a championship contender. In that same season, went toe-to-toe with Kyle Busch at Darlington, by the way.
Right.
Just put a season on the books that like left me in awe of his talent. I'm like, holy crap, dude, you showed me what I want to see from an Xfinity Series driver that's going to make that next step. And he's been in a difficult situation in Cup, but you can tell like he's outdrove what was under him too. And now he's in a really good spot.
Right.
And now for Chase Briscoe, he's been on that Cup journey. Now he's at a place where it's like, okay, man, I need to see 3 wins this season. I need to see playoff. I need to see progression out of you. Like, you are now in that spot. And that's where Brandon Jones, that's the level he's at now.
Yeah.
You got to show me, like, you're in a JGR car. You have to be going into Martinsville at the end of the season with a chance to make that championship
100%.
round.
Yep.
And if you don't, that's a disappointment. You know?
Yeah. No.
You got to get there. You got to give yourself a chance. And that's where he's at.
100%.
Yep. That's what I think of Brandon Jones.
Especially when you look at JGR from above what they've got this season. I mean, you got Taylor Gray there, you got William Sawalich. Brandon Jones is the veteran there.
Yeah, you could argue Taylor Gray should have won last week.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
so Brandon Jones should be outperforming the rest of those guys at JGR where he's at.
Well, and you've got you got a part-timer in Errol Marola flying in there.
Yep.
And when he shows up, he wins.
Right.
Like Brandon Jones should be able to compete with that guy at this point.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep. Yeah, you're right. He is an elder statesman of the team. That team, because they're so young, they kind of rely on you to carry the banner a little bit.
Right.
Until those young guys are up to speed.
Yep.
Which is going to take some time.
That's
like,
not
Williams Walsh is a really good driver.
Oh, yeah. That's not to say there's not a ton of talent there. But Brandon Jones needs to be the leader there. And so he needs to go out there and show them how it's done.
Yeah, exactly.
If he's underperforming those guys regularly, then he isn't fit to drive that car. Now, that being said, Menard's just going to sign the check and he's going to be driving whatever.
He'll be fine. Yep. Oh yeah. Yeah. So, absolutely. Yep. But in a race where, and you look at the results of this race, I mean, Taylor Gray, 33rd, William Sawalich, 35th. They had their issues during the day. Christopher Bell was in this race in a JGR car. He didn't have a great day. He finished 25th. So, kind of going to that point, like, okay, the team's not having a great day all the way across the board, but oh man, Brandon Jones showed up. He's going to give us a chance.
Yeah.
So that kind of goes to what you were saying. Like, yeah, you got to carry it a little bit.
I will say Bell hit the wall, which was part of the reason that he struggled. Otherwise, I think
he's just showing up trying to win. Right? Yeah, he's just trying to win.
He'd have been a top contender.
Yeah, he led laps. Yeah, he was.
Yeah. Worth shouting out. I mean, we've done it enough times this season, but Connor Zilich, Carson Kvapil, anytime these young drivers get top 10 finishes at Darlington, Christian Eckes, Nick Sanchez. Nick Sanchez looked great in this race. Good rebound for Sammy Smith at the top 10. He got 9th place. I mean, it's good to see those young guys run well here. And that shows you that they've got some talent because not just anybody finishes up front at Darlington. So,
yep.
There you go. Let's see. Brandon Jones, it's his 6th victory in 310 NASCAR Xfinity Series starts. Carson Kvapil, as mentioned, with his 5th place finish, was your highest finishing rookie. And Justin Allgaier is your points leader, 71 points over Sam Mayer.
wasn't the Brandon Jones losing streak almost to 100 races?
Yeah, I
Something
think it
like
was
that?
198 if I remember correctly.
Yeah, because he had the 2 winless seasons with Junior, and
Yeah.
then maybe it was 98. Maybe that's
Sorry,
right.
yeah,
Maybe it's
98. I think you're right.
98,
Yeah,
yeah.
98. Sorry.
Yeah, he
not
was getting
198.
close to that. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
around that area.
Yeah, my
So,
math
yeah,
is not my
that's
strong
cool.
suit. I was an English major, so
You're it's all good, man. It's all good. We can check each other from time to time. It's all good.
Right.
good.
Well, there you go. There's Darlington in a rearview mirror. Not a whole lot of news this week, James. Pretty quiet for the most part.
I am checking the Twitters right now to see if there's anything going on.
Yeah,
I
I
do
did
see the giant rabbit that's been going viral at the San Francisco Giants. He's still on my feed. He's back on there again. But
Guess I'm not familiar with that. I'll have to look that up.
Oh yeah, he's like a 28-pound rabbit. It's a whole thing.
Oh,
I had to show my daughters this thing because they love rabbits, and now it's a thing in my house. Apparently, it's in my algorithm. So
gotcha.
yeah,
Apparently it's not in mine. So I think I'm going to leave it that way for the most part.
good. Yeah, that's probably for the better. Yeah, my algorithm with the kids is definitely with daughters specifically. I get fed a lot of princess content, and then it knows I'm going to Disney. So my algorithm's really janked up right now.
Nice.
I'm getting a ton of Disney stuff, and I'm like, okay, all right. I know you guys know I downloaded the app. It's fine.
That's funny.
I'm getting my butt kicked by princesses all the time.
Let's talk a little bit about Lamar Jackson. And,
Yes.
and speaking of memes and the algorithm.
Two-time Daytona 500 champion, Lamar
Yeah,
Jackson.
Yeah. Lamar Jackson sues Junior Motorsports for the number 8 trademark, or claims trademark infringement. There was a lot of confusion about this. Originally, everybody thought it was the new 8.
Boy, was it fun though.
The new old 8.
It was a fun time to be online.
Yes, but apparently it was the 8 that they were running last year and previous.
Yeah, the JRM 8.
Which I
not
believe
not the Dale Jr. 8.
because Junior has announced they've secured the trademark to the stylized 8 from DEI and have switched to that and retired the other number that now I believe this goes away, right?
Yeah, this shouldn't be a problem.
So,
Which it's funny, like Lamar Jackson's got this brand and his 8 doesn't really even look, I mean, don't all 8s look the same? They're 8s.
what it comes down to really is we laugh about this stuff and we make fun of it because it seems silly, but it's one of those things that when you have a trademark, you have to defend it, because if you don't defend it, you will lose it. You will lose the right to defend it. Ask Kleenex, ask Q-Tip,
Yep.
if you don't defend it. So you have to seek out these situations where you think there may be, and I mean, this is a group of attorneys. I guarantee you Lamar Jackson's not sitting there going, "Oh, look at that number. That number looks real close. Let me give somebody a call." It's his attorneys doing their
lawyers.
job. And it's just a matter of just protecting their trademark. So
Well,
as much
tell you
crap
what,
as
Eric.
we've given Lamar Jackson over the last week, because it's freaking hilarious.
It's just good content, man.
Yeah, it's great
you know?
content. It's great content. There's some
And
really,
NASCAR
really
fans are
great
just-
memes.
Well, yeah, and like the Dale Jr. had was winning races before he was even 2
Right.
with that car. Like, and then I saw my favorite one that I saw was the diecast. Somebody picked up the diecast. I think it was a Sammy Smith diecast. I can't remember. It was a diecast from JR Motorsports, and it looked like it was taken right off the shelf with Lamar Jackson on the name. And I was like, dang, that's really good Photoshop work or AI or whatever. I'm like, that looks like you actually did pull the car right off the Walmart shelf and
Yeah.
it said Lamar Jackson on it. I was like, that's pretty clever.
My favorite one was it was on Reddit. It was somebody posted that didn't expect to see a Dale Jr. exhibit at the Football Hall of Fame, and it's Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, that's
jersey
another
on it.
one. Yeah.
There were some
Dale-
just good ones.
Dale Jr. Has more Super Bowl appearances than Lamar Jackson because he did all those Super Bowl commercials. That was another one I
That's
saw.
funny.
Yeah. Because remember Dale Jr. had that commercial where he drove his car on the field. Do you remember this commercial? And they handed him the football while he was driving his car.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. He had some good Super Bowl commercials.
There were some really weird NASCAR commercials back in the day, but that's a off-season podcast right there. Is the best NASCAR commercials. Although I don't know that you can beat I'm at the wrong track. I mean, I'm sorry, but I'm at the wrong track is
was
one of the
good.
best. Actually, pretty much any of the Napa commercials, as cringy as they were all
Truex had
great.
the best one, I thought.
The one where
when he was
Michael
singing.
and Truex are singing that is really good. It's so
Yeah,
cringy,
that one's one of
so
my
awful and
favorite. It's
cringy,
very-
but it's so good.
Yeah.
Another
Those are
great
good.
Lamar Jackson meme was NASCAR Chasm, of course. Congratulations to Lamar Jackson on tying Wayne Gretzky's record for goals scored.
yeah. Because Ovechkin's number 8 too.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. That was good.
My tweet was when I saw it, I was like, man, wait till Lamar Jackson finds out who Kobe Bryant was. 'Cause
Yep.
that was a pretty good number 8 too for
Right.
a while. I was like, holy cow, man! I guess we're going after them all. Why not?
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Bring in all the great 8s.
This next one, James, I'm going to leave to you because I see you added some in the notes, but when you put it in the notes, you put, we know a little more about Rick Ware versus Legacy Motor Club. And I went to myself, we do? Because I don't freaking know. So go ahead and tell me.
Okay, yeah. So I'll take a little bit from the teardown too,
Yeah.
because Jordan Bianchi's been doing a little bit of reporting on this. So the dispute is that Legacy bought the charter from Rick Ware for the 2027 season,
Okay.
but according to Jordan, the contract is littered with, this is a 2026 purchase.
Huh.
The problem is that Rick Ware, you can only lease a charter once a year, and it has to rotate back and forth between their 2 charters. So right now, the RFK team for the 60 car has one of the charters.
Right.
And the idea is next year that charter comes back to Rick Ware, and then the other charter gets leased to RFK or whomever. Well, the problem is you can't flip-flop charters back and forth on a annual basis when you've got one that you might not be able to use, and then you sell the other one for what Dale Jr. said on his podcast is $45 million.
Wow.
So again, the record payment for a charter that we know of now is $45 million from Legacy to Rick Ware. My question is why doesn't Rick Ware just take that money? be good with it, because that's a lot of money,
Right.
But they don't want to run. Basically, the way that this is all laying out, and trying to speak in plain terms of this, is Rick Ware does not want to run as an open car, and that's why they want this charter to be sold in 2027. It works out better for their math, I guess, to make sure that they continue to have a charter.
Well, you lose a
one of their
lot
cars.
of money to run as an open car.
You lose a ton of money to run as an open car, and there's the other thing with the charters with them is there's that performance ticker that kind of throws on these charters, and
Which is why
when
they're
they
doing
leave-
this leasing thing.
yeah, because you get the 60 car running a lot better than their car. So it finishes higher in the points, and then it flip flops back and forth. It means it just kind of gives more value to it. Not that much more value, but as we know with charters, they can be taken away if you don't perform. Although that's never happened. So we know that it's a dispute over the year for 2026 versus 2027, and then we also know that $45 million was the payment, the agreed payment. I'm sure that money has not exchanged hands yet, hence the lawsuit.
Right.
So, which is Rick Ware suing Legacy. So
I want to
we'll see.
extend this a little bit longer so we can get you to say Rick Ware Racing multiple
I am
times
having a
yet.
really hard time with that.
It's tough. It's a tongue twister.
Rick Ware Racing. I have to really slow it down.
Well, thank you for
I
the
was stumbling.
explanation, 'cause
You thought I was going to really flub it. I
was
think
waiting.
I think I did okay. It sounds like I'm trying to say it with marshmallows in my mouth.
It does. Sounds very much like that.
Yeah.
I won't give you too much crap because I have trouble with it too. So
You got to really slow it down. It's the she sold seashells by the seashore.
yeah, I don't have to say JTG Doherty anymore. So
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
that one's gone.
Yep.
Yeah. So there you go.
There you go.
Good.
Yeah, take my expertise for it, and
Take Jordan Bianchi's expertise that you tried to repeat?
well, Jordan and Dale Jr. Yeah, my composite, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah. Jordan was really good on this though. I actually would recommend, even if you don't listen to the entire teardown, fast forward to that part of it where he kind of breaks it down a little bit.
Jordan
I found it pretty-
Jordan is in Bob Pockrass territory as Jordan is a real journalist and he does a great job.
I will go as far as to say he is the Adam Schefter of NASCAR.
Yeah.
He's that guy where he will get the news before anybody, and he's usually not wrong.
Yeah. I mean, he's stolen the Stern bomb away, really. I mean, if it's getting broken,
Stern
it's
used to
getting
have
broken by Stern or Bianchi.
Stern gets the business side of things really, really well. Jordan gets like the inside baseball stuff that's really good. He gets the juicy drama.
Yep. Yeah,
That's his wheelhouse.
My real journalist comment isn't to take anything away from the other NASCAR journalists. Don't take it that way. There's many very talented people in that garage. There's just a different mindset as a sports journalist versus a news journalist, I guess.
I'm a journalist. Right?
Yeah. So there's a difference, and Jordan has that capital J journalism mindset versus a sports journalist. Again, not taking anything away from anybody. That's just different expertises. So
he does I guess you would call it, like, he grinds.
Yeah.
There's people who are good at fluff and entertainment, and Jordan is a grinder.
Yeah. Well, there's a certain amount of digging and investigative stuff too.
Well, that's
Jordan's
the funny
got that
thing is
stuff.
I enjoy his stuff more than pretty much anybody.
Yeah.
Even Bob nowadays. Bob's
Well, they're stretching Bob thin with IndyCar and NASCAR.
Bob's pushing out so much content. It's
Yeah.
almost overwhelming sometimes.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
Bob's
being him?
always really good about, you know what though? What Bob does really well that people don't understand is the follow-up.
Yeah.
Bob can explain to you anything.
Yep. Yeah.
It'll
100%.
be nobody will know what's going on, and Bob will get it in a one tweet.
Well, and the other thing is not just because Bob's not there doesn't mean he's not working.
Right.
Like he's doing the IndyCar stuff, but he'll still have NASCAR stuff on the weekend or vice versa.
Yes.
He can stretch himself thin. Just there's only so much a person can stretch too. So
I gotta get him off IndyCar. I'm frustrated.
I'm with you 100%. We'll jump on the Kyle Petty charity ride and then jump to the last one. Kyle Petty charity ride. This was news to me, James, until you put in the notes. Starting out in Michigan this year.
Yeah, he's gonna come through our neck of the woods, Traverse City.
Yeah, be driving right by my house just about.
I'm curious to see what the route is. We're gonna have to. I don't know if the route. Last I checked, the route was not out yet.
Okay.
But
I was debating going up there for the launch.
If he's coming through, let me see.
If he's stopping.
Yeah, here's the route. Oh yeah, here's the 2025 turn by turn route. Here we go.
Nice.
Is there a map? I don't see a map. Although they are going. Okay, here we go. I got some more information on this. So they are coming into Alma, which is not too far from us.
Interesting.
And then they're going to the Henry Ford Museum.
So they're going down US 127.
They are going down 127. Yep, they are going all the way down 127, and they're going to get off in. Yeah, so in Michigan, if you look at your hand with your thumb pointed to the right, they're coming basically through the middle of the mitten, and they're taking 127 all the way to the Henry Ford.
So if you look at their
and then from there they leave Michigan and go to Cleveland.
They have 4 fan pit stops in Michigan. So Traverse City, Benzonia, Alma, and Dearborn.
Dang, dude, I'm gonna have to. What day is that Alma? Because this is spinning off in a tangent. I have an office in Alma that for my work. I might have to go down that way.
It is May 3rd.
Too far from 127.
Saturday, May 3rd.
Oh, it's Saturday. Jesus. All right. Well, probably have a soccer game that day.
Probably.
He's done. I think this is the second time, Eric, that they have done the charity ride starting in Traverse City. I remember they were here once before.
Interesting. I never.
Long
knew that.
time ago, though.
I always thought it was a west to east thing or vice versa. So.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Pretty cool, though.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
I'm actually free that day. Maybe I'll have to swing around and
go hang out with Kyle Petty. Wonder who he's riding with.
It was mentioned Kenny Wallace is going to be there.
I'm gonna no comment that one.
Where did I see? We are really filibustering on this now.
Oh yeah, we are. Yeah.
But
so Benzonia, so they're not coming straight down though. They are going. So Benzonia is more towards the west side of the state. So they aren't coming straight down from Traverse. They're going to kind of zigzag.
There you go. I don't know. There was somewhere on the site that told you who was going to be riding, but I don't see
Kenny Wallace. All right. Since we're filibustering, Kenny Wallace did a thing the other day. I was so frustrated about old school drivers and how they would have handled these new school drivers. I was just like, Kenny, God dang it, dude. He's too much. I don't know. I'm not going to get into all the details.
Yeah. Kenny can frustrate me.
All right. So when they go through Alma. This is really entertaining podcasting.
Right?
They're going to get through town basically. So, okay. All right. I know where they're going to go. Huh. Well, there you have it.
There you go.
The more you know.
Good one. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad I could derail the podcast with
Right?
talk of Kyle Petty's charity ride.
Yeah. Appreciate that.
It is for a good cause.
It is. It is.
We should mention that it goes towards Victory Junction Gang.
Victory Junction Gang is awesome.
Been doing it for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. Very cool. Very cool deal. In memory of Adam Petty. Good stuff.
Yep.
Done a lot of good. So, sad news. Shigeaki passed away. You might remember him as Truck Series owner, IndyCar driver, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, we lost him this week.
Championship truck winning owner, by the way. Yeah, he was passed away in a car accident. Sad news.
Yeah, bummer for sure.
They had some that truck team, man, they were underdogs, but the fact that they won a championship, I think that's actually quite an achievement from where they started.
Yeah, Brett Moffitt.
Brett Moffitt, they didn't last very long, but man, that team, I remember that season. Like, Brett Moffitt was really good.
Yep.
It was a strong, like, you can't kind of out of nowhere season.
Yeah.
But you'll get that in the truck series from time to time.
Right. He was strong the next year though, too, because I remember interviewing him on pit road after he'd won the championship. So yeah. Anyway. There you go. Any checkered flags for you this week, James?
Oh man. I will do, you know what? I'm going to do this one because I forgot to mention it last week. So I was shopping at our local Menards last week. Okay. And as I'm like to do, I usually switch between 2 ball caps, maybe 3, sometimes 3. I have my SRX racing hat that I still like to wear out of pride. Or I have my Dan Campbell Lions hat. But on this particular day, I was rocking the Kyle Larson HendrickCars.com hat. That's to the point where the white's starting to turn yellow. I've worn it so much. So I like that hat a lot. It's comfortable.
Yeah,
anyway,
I've seen you in a couple times, I think.
Yeah, I'm at Menards. I'm wearing my hat, and this is great. And all of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye, what do I see? another NASCAR hat. I'm like, oh, this hasn't happened to me in a long time.
Right.
Last time I saw NASCAR gear was at the vet, and it was a random like Alex Bowman shirt. So I'm like, okay, all right, what's the hat? And I see the number 1, and I go, oh, is it retro? But then I saw the logo, Moose, and I said, you've got to be kidding me. Who's wearing that? And me and this guy, he's walking towards me. We lock eyes, and I feel like we understood each other because there was not even a nod. There was no head nod. There was nothing, but he knew where my allegiance was, and I knew where his was, and we left it at that. So I kind of respect him for it. I haven't had a good NASCAR like merchandise rivalry in quite a while.
The only way it would have been better, I think, is if you were wearing a Denny Hamlin hat or something.
Yeah, Denny. Yeah, there you go. Or Chase Elliott after this weekend.
Right.
I definitely did stand a little taller though, because he was bigger than me. He's older than me too. But I didn't want him to feel like he had any intimidation over me because he was wearing a Ross Chastain hat to my Kyle Larson hat. So, and I had my daughter with me. I had to make sure I bowed up a little bit too. So
that's funny.
But of all the hats to wear, and you know how that would irk me to see something like that. Yeah. So
I'm still stuck on the random Alex Bowman shirt. I didn't even know they sold those.
Oh yeah, it was when he was driving the '88 car.
Wow.
So it was. I was at the vet in, oh my gosh, this was probably during the pandemic time frame, somewhere around there. And yeah, I was walking into the vet, and there come this woman wearing an Alex Bowman t-shirt. And I was like, holy smokes. That was kind of random.
I didn't think they gave him a spot in the merch hauler, to be honest.
They definitely did. Yeah, back then they did, for sure. Yep. So there you go. There's my checkered flag. I'm going to give that guy a checkered flag because he didn't back down.
There you go. Real quick one for me. I give so much crap to Fox that I got to give him a shout out when there's a good opportunity. And as much crap as we give about the artistic shots and stuff that Fox gets throughout a race, to pick up the wheel nut coming off the Keselowski car when he lost the wheel nut, great shot. Just terrific. I'm always fascinated because they're not recording that in slow motion. You know, they're recording it in real time, and then they play it back in slow motion, and it's so smooth, like just incredible. The people that work those cameras on NASCAR weekends and any of the sports, I mean, they're freaking amazing. Those guys are awesome. So
yeah, it's a skill, man.
Yeah,
it's a talent.
As somebody who's operated a camera, not to that level, but definitely operated a share of cameras, man, I mad respect for those guys. Not to mention they're standing out on a scaffolding or on a crane, you know, barely hanging on in the wind and all that stuff. Like, man, it's all day in the hot sun or in the cold or whatever. Mad respect for those guys.
Oh my God, yeah.
There you go. How about black flags, James? I gave you mine. You got any black flags this week?
Not as good as yours.
You're not gonna rail on the most popular driver this week?
No, I'm good. I don't want to rail on him. No, I think everything was pretty clean this weekend. I guess I'm gonna probably black flag myself when we talk about the fantasy league, but I don't want to talk about that yet.
All right. Okay. You made me think I was gonna black flag myself or something, but I don't remember what it was. So good. And that's good. We don't need to remember that.
That's good.
James, it's Bristol, baby.
It's Bristol, baby.
Bristol weekend.
Is it going to be as wild as last year? What do you think?
I hope so. They are not putting resin down. They're putting PJ1 down. So, and it sounds like they're putting it down before the Cup race. I don't know if they're putting it down with the other series too, but I don't know. Anyway, they're putting PJ1 down. No resin. Which that will be a change from last spring, because last spring it was resin. And other than that, who knows? I guess the tires the same.
We were putting that stuff on every racetrack.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, tires gonna be the same. So we'll have a bottom dominant track probably Friday night. Probably a good chunk of maybe the first half of Saturday and probably the first quarter of Sunday, and then it'll move to the top. Don't you think? Probably.
Yeah, I think
about
so.
How it goes.
I think so.
Once it heats up, it'll move up.
Yeah. Plus, there's gonna be a lot of activity on the track compared to most weekends where, you know, just that place just takes a pounding. There's so many laps that get put down.
Yeah.
Over the weekend.
Yep. NASCAR Food City 500 on Sunday for the Cup Series, 3 p.m. on Fox Sports 1. NASCAR Xfinity Series has the SciAps 300, Saturday 5 p.m. Eastern on the CW. And the Craftsman Truck Series has the Weather Guard Truck Race at Bristol, Friday, April 11th, 7:30 p.m. on Fox Sports 1. James, you get first pick this week. Who's your pick for Bristol?
I think I'm going to put a hex on somebody. I'm going to leave this open for you. Because I feel like you're going to take it.
Well, neither of us are going to pick a good driver then, because I'm not picking.
Oh, you're not going to pick Dennis?
No, I'm going off the reservation a little bit.
Oh, all right. You know what? I'll do the same. I was thinking about taking Christopher Bell. He's been pretty good here. But I'm going to take Ryan Preece.
Ooh, that was one of my thoughts, because I really like tracks. Well, and RFK does well here.
Yep, he'll be good. Brad will be good. Well, I say that.
I don't know about Brad will be good.
We think Busher will be good. Brad, I don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
Brad should be fine though. He should be good here.
Busher was going to be my pick originally, and then I'm like, well, no. And I'm like, well, Denny is an obvious pick. Kyle Larson's a great pick here. He's right at the top.
Oh my God, he's led all sorts of laps. Yeah, he's led 500 laps over the last 3 races.
But I'm going off the reservation a little bit with a guy who's run well recently.
I think I know where you're going. I'm
better than normal recently. He has run historically well at this track.
Led a lot of laps, yeah.
And probably maybe would have had a really good shot at an all-star victory here a couple years ago until Michael McDowell took him out. And I'm going Bubba Wallace is my pick.
All right. Good call. I actually thought you were going with Ty Gibbs.
Oh no, I'm not picking Ty Gibbs for a while.
yeah, I know. We got to see more.
That is a good pick here, but no.
Yeah, he's been good here. But Bubba Wallace also very good here. Has not led a ton of laps, but he's a top 5, top 10 guy.
No. Yeah, he's always run well here, and again on the upswing this year. So we'll see.
Yep.
Fantasy League, James.
Jesus.
I don't want to talk about it, but I kind of do, because I finished better than you, despite sucking.
Last week you tried to sneak it by me. So Green Eggs and Hamlin was our winner. 3-time champ was second.
Just for the record, I was second most of the day.
Well, That's good for you. I wasn't. Eric, you finished 7th.
Yep.
So right, it's just funny, man. Every week.
Every week.
And I go from winning last week to P11.
Ouch.
Yeah, 105 points this week. I got my butt kicked. I was telling you about it. I had Larson, and then I had Hocevar, and then I had Briscoe. I was in big trouble. So I go from 3rd in the standings down to 5th, just like that. And now I'm well over 100 points behind Ranger, who is our leader. Smoking Girl Racing 2nd. Green Eggs and Hamlin bumps up to 3rd. Hendrick Flair bumps up to 4th. Eric, you're still P9. And yeah, the league's trudging along. don't want to talk about it any more than that.
There you
I was
go.
really happy to talk about it last week. Jeez.
God.
What a mess.
Well, at least you've got a win this year. I don't have that.
Well, I looked at the scoring, like my team, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm not looking at anybody else, and I know I'm either last or really close, and yep, that's about where I was.
So I checked a couple times during the day, and it always defaults back. If you refresh, it defaults back to the point standings. And so I checked a couple times during the day. I checked, and I was 2nd. And I went back after the race, and I went into it, and I clicked on it, and I'm like, oh, 7th. It's showing me point standings. Let me go to the race, and it's like, oh crap! No, that is the race. I finished freaking 7th. It's like, God damn it.
Your average finish for your entire career of fantasy is like 7th.
It is.
7th and 8th.
It is.
It's crazy.
And the funny thing is it doesn't matter if there's 20 people in the league or 11.
I know. I have to laugh about it because I'm like, God dang it, dude. This is just so funny to me. Every week. It's every week. It's
Every
great.
week. It's ridiculous.
Every week.
Well, James, where can people find you on social media if they want to send you their surcharge this week?
At James Cush on Instagram and X.
You can find me at TSuperspeedway on X. You can find the podcast on Facebook at facebook.com/thesuperspeedway. Our website is thesuperspeedway.com. You can find the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Amazon Music, Audible, and iHeartRadio. Wherever you found us this week, please subscribe and continue to listen to new episodes each and every week. Bristol Motor Speedway this weekend, all 3 series in action, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We'll be back next week to break it all down. Until then, everybody, let's go racing.